Have you ever asked yourself, why do we all collectively lose our minds over this idea of a fresh start? Sometimes it's the promise of a new year. Other times, it's just the appeal of a Monday, you know. But is it really hope and optimism driving us, or just a touch of denial? Today, we're diving into the psychology of the new me, why our old habits keep pulling us back, and how small changes can lead to big resolutions. Spoiler alert, the solution isn't as glamorous as we think, but it works. So, what makes a clean slate so tempting? Well, psychologists call it the fresh start effect. It's that psychological boost we get from temporary landmarks like New Year's Day or even the start of a new week that separates the old you from the new you. It feels like a mental reset button. But here is the catch. Is it really a fresh start or just the same old habits dressed up in a shiny new label? Let's unpack why we cling to this idea even when it rarely delivers. Hi, welcome to Sometimes Curious, Often Confused. I'm Richard Okonwo. Mathematics is my study, but people are my passion. I'm not a pro, just someone who believes nobody has it all figured out. So, let's dive into the questions that make us curious and see where they take us. While we are busy hyping up our new year, new me, our old habits are sitting in the background comfortably, like that one ex who just keeps texting, "Hey, I'm just checking in every time you try to move on." So, why are old habits so hard to shake? Well, the answer lies in the brain. Literally, the part of the brain responsible for automatic behaviors. Once a habit is formed, it becomes the path of least resistance. So, even with the best intentions, we often find ourselves back where we started. Now, knowing all this, why do we keep trying? Year after year, we tell ourselves, this time will be different. Part of this is just optimism bias. We overestimate our ability to succeed and underestimate challenges. But it's also a testament to human resilience. We fail, we dust ourselves off, and we try again. Maybe it's not just about the results, but about believing in the possibility of change. And here comes another question, because I like asking questions, right? What keeps us motivated? Well, I think that's where the small wins come in. And here's where it gets interesting. Sometimes it's not the grand resolution that keeps us going. No, 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 no. It's those little victories along the way, like completing a single workout, drinking an extra glass of water, or checking off one task on our to-do list that might seem insignificant. But these small wins, they trigger dopamine, like completing a single workout, drinking an extra cup of water, or checking off one task on your to-do list. It might seem insignificant, but these small wins, they trigger dopamine. That little rush of success motivates us to just keep going. It's like hacking your brain to stay on track. I like the sound of that. Hacking your brain to stay on track. So, a quick pause before we dive into the next part. If you're enjoying this episode, I would love to hear your thoughts. Are you a fan of fresh starts? Or do old habits have you on chokehold? Follow me on Instagram, SCOCPod, and shoot me a DM. I would love to know what resonates with you. And if you've got a fresh perspective or a question about anything we've discussed so far, email me at scocpod@outlook.com. You will find all the links and details in the episode description. Now, back to why you don't have to wait for the perfect moment to start. To be able to do that, we have to look at small wins and how they work in real life. Okay, so we know that small wins, they sound great in theory. But what does that actually look like? Imagine starting a new course or a project, but instead of aiming to master everything in one day, focus on completing one module, understanding one concept, or even just showing up. These small manageable steps, they build monuments and confidence. They are not flashy, but they work. When I first started using YouTube for tutorials, I used to look for those videos that said learn this in 1 hour, learn this in 3 hours. There are even some that say learn this in 10 minutes. And while I understand the intention of the YouTuber, because most of the time what they give you is the basics, and that's it. They give you the basics. Have you ever wondered why, if you go on YouTube, you don't see much videos about moving to the advanced level? All you see is this for beginners, that for beginners. It's because they are made for, guess who? For beginners. And even though you might be a beginner at that point, the video is not going to just transform you, that you are going to know everything you want to know about the Python programming language in 1 hour. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to keep showing up. You have to practice. You see, for every minute of that video that you are watching, you have to practice it for hours to be able to master them. Yes, now that I said it, it sounds like a lot of work, right? Well, that's how small wins work. You have to keep showing up little by little, making those minor changes. You have to keep trying, even if it is just for people that are learning programming, even if it is just how to print hello world, that's okay. Just get started. Do you understand? Start as little as you can. That's all I'm saying. Take that baby step. You're going to appreciate yourself. And that's the thing. You don't have to wait until that grand moment for you to be able to learn everything or master everything. No, it doesn't work that way. No. Anyone that has mastered any skill will tell you that sometimes all you just need to do is to be showing up small. Make those minor improvements. Over time, you're going to get better. Now, here is a fun thought. So, how do we ensure that we don't just wait for the perfect moment to start? New resolutions are great, but what about an October 23rd resolution or a random Tuesday resolution? The truth is, waiting for the perfect moment often delays progress. And you know what? And let me tell you this. When I first had the idea to start this podcast, I told myself I will launch in January 2024. My birthday is also in January. So you understand the whole idea. I'm celebrating New Year, I'm celebrating a new age, and at the same time, a new podcast. It felt like a perfect plan, a very clean slate, a new year, all that, new me energy. But then life happened. I kept thinking, maybe next month, maybe this month, maybe the other month. And here is the thing. At a point, I realized there will never be a perfect time. So even though I missed January, and let's be real, most of the year, I decided to start anyway. When I finally hit publish in November, it wasn't perfect, but it felt liberating. That one step turned my idea into reality. And now here we are. So sometimes you just have to take that first imperfect step, practicing change before the big day. Or even after that big day passes. And even if that big day passes without you starting, it still helps you to build the habits you need when it really counts. And that's the takeaway for this episode. Fresh starts are not about the date on the calendar. No, they are about the mindset you bring. Whether you are chasing big dreams or just trying to drink more water, it's the small intentional steps that make the difference. So, here is to progress, not perfection. And here is to starting over as many times as it takes. And that's a wrap on today's episode. Before we go, let me know, what has been your biggest small win lately? Or what's that one habit you've been struggling to break? Drop a message on Instagram at scocpod or email me at scocpod@outlook.com. I would love to feature your thoughts in a future episode. If you know someone waiting for the perfect moment, share this episode with them. It might be just what they need. Don't forget, all the links you need are in the episode description. And until next week, stay curious.